Greetings, my name is Dr. Freytas and welcome to Focal Point. On this episode, we've changed our format to align with my monthly Coffee with the Principal meetings. So we will feature parents, community members, and other stakeholders on the program today. Joining me in the first segment is Julie Laube and Josue Vazquez. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So on this episode of Focal Point, we're gonna have a Thanksgiving theme. So my first question for you all is, what are you thankful for in this season of holidays? What are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for the RB community, wonderful learning that's going on, the activities and clubs that are offered to the students, and how the teachers and students work together and really highlight and bring forth learning and growth in all different aspects of a child's life. Mm-hmm. And seeing all the things that are going on and with the students, it's wonderful. I'm very thankful for the teachers they put their time and effort into it. The staff works hard, and it's just, it couldn't be better.
Mm-hmm. Josue, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for family and for community. I think it's really important for us to continue to keep our bonds together as a family and just the community that we live in, being active members in our community, including the RB community as well.
Mm-hmm. And I'm thankful for you all, for the parents in the audience, for really supporting me. As a first-year principal here, I feel valued, I feel appreciated, and that helps me do my job better. So I'm thankful for you all, and I'm thankful to the parents in the audience today. So what questions do you have for me? I'm sure you're curious about everything that's happening in RB and some of the things that we discussed here today at the Coffee with the Principals. So Julie, Josue, do you guys have any questions for me about RB, about what's happening here?
I think there's, if you look at what's going on around the community, there's a lot of events coming up. And I think that you're doing a great job with the traffic control right now, with the construction going on First Avenue. Is there anything that you're looking into doing with, say, with the kids getting here, or the tardies? It took us 20-some minutes, 25 minutes to go 2 miles today. Are you guys working with the students in the police department, or what's happening like with the tardies? It took us 25 minutes and my kids still got here at 8:40 something. It took us 5 lights to go through First Avenue.
Sure. So first of all, I'm thankful to my deans, assistant principals, and staff. As you see them always outside in the morning, directing traffic to make sure that they're not only on time, but that students and parents are also safe in getting here and going back to their to their homes or to their careers. We actually work consistently and frequently with the police departments, and we share our concerns. And actually, our partners in Riverside and Brookfield have provided, some police officers to kind of help us in directing traffic. There are some construction projects that, should be completed in the next year or two. So we're hopeful that those projects are completed, and that should alleviate some of the congestion. But my advice for you and the parents in the audience, try to leave home a little early. Beat the traffic. Our building is open very early. So your kids are welcome here to eat breakfast in the cafeteria, to meet with their teachers. So please leave ample time in your commute. Construction is a challenging process. But I believe that sooner or later we'll come back to normalcy.
I go, between garbage day and construction and freight trains and metro. But but from what you're saying, I did see, because even at nighttime when I'm coming, but before school, after school, even the crossing guards out there, it's the same two every time, and they're doing a fantastic job. Even after school, working with the police department, They definitely are on top of it and watching the safety of the kids, getting them to the other side of the sidewalk to walk now. I mean, there's easily, some of these days on a nice day, there were the other day easily probably 600-700 kids walking, and they got them across safely. The police officer is out there. The crossing guards they work together so well and all that, and they had to tell a few people not to turn left because they wanted to turn left, and there were some horns honking going on. But I think it was very well, and it was 25 or 30 minutes, tired. But I think this is something we have to deal with again. But we'll be over soon.
So I just have a general question. So you mentioned the deans and the principal, and what is the structure here, the hierarchy structure, and what does each person do as far as like deans, principal, assistant principal, just so we have kind of an idea also how to navigate the system and who to go to, what would be the most appropriate routes?
Sure. So as far as, I'll begin with administration. So our first level administrator, we have the deans. We have 3 deans, Neil Dugetti, Dave Sibley, and Jenna Osborne. They deal with the climate and culture of the school, reinforcing positive behavior, and supporting any misbehavior, holding students accountable, calling parents in meetings. Then we have the next level, we have our assistant principal. I have an assistant principal of curriculum instruction, Ms. Kylie Lindquist. She supports the instructional coaching. She supports curriculum development, innovation, and learning and teaching. We have our assistant principal of student affairs, Mr. Dave Mannon, who supports the dean's office when we deal with serious issues, following up with parents. We have our assistant principal of athletics, who supports our 1,200 students involved in athletics, organizing, supporting, dealing with the 50 coaches. We also have our assistant principal of student services that supports our social workers, our psychologists, our speech therapists, and our counselors. They all report to me, the principal. So I'm ultimately responsible with supporting every program in the building. Okay. We have our assistant superintendent of human resource and operations that takes care of our budget, our hiring, our payroll, and our human resource. We work hand in hand together, and we are ultimately, that's Christine Smetana.
Yes.
And then we ultimately report to our superintendent, Dr. Kevin Skinkers. I report to him on how we're doing in climate and culture, student services, grades, curriculum innovation, and then ultimately we're held accountable to the Board of Education. Okay. They're all of our bosses, all of the teachers, coaches, all of the administration. So that's kind of how the hierarchy works at our school. And then if I could go back, a little bit, our teachers actually report first to their instructional coaches. But they work as collaborative, as supportive, not as a manager, a role. They support their teachers. We're ultimately the building administrators are the managers of the teachers.
Fantastic.
Okay. Any other questions? I know you guys spoke a lot at the coffee, and I know we brought a lot of topics. So, in reflecting on the topics that we spoke, you guys have any other questions? Any other learnings?
No, I like the team approach, and I think the way you're looking to do it is something that is really going to be informative to the community to let them know what's going on, because there are parents that are working that don't know what's going on. They would like to have those conversations with their kids and don't always have the time or something, or they're running around with multiple errands going on, and this sports pickup and this activity and this band orchestra concert and this is going on and this play is going on. So I think the way you're looking to communicate it, and now that it's going to inform and keep everyone in the loop of what's going on and in the know. So I think you're doing a good job, and looking at how that team is. I really like that together. Everyone achieves more.
Yeah.
There's no I in team. Right. So I really like that collaboration. I like that team effort.
There was something that you shared today with us regarding the different apps that are out there that our teens are using, and some of the things that are incognito behind the scenes. We see something in front of us, and we're like, "Oh, it's a calculator. That's nothing." And then behind there, we know that there's apps for sexting, apps for like you mentioned, the videos and things of that nature. Is there any plans on? I know that we have access to that through the presentation, but maybe some sort of parent university, because a lot of times parents. We see the app, and our children are the best, of course. So our children will not be involved in that, but something that we can kind of learn how to keep abreast of what's going on and these kinds of things. So maybe like a training on how to look at the phones and see these kinds of apps and be informed.
Well, on November 13th, last week, we had our first community forum on safety and security, where we shared, the applications, that either support our students or could expose them to harm. We shared our policies and protocols. We shared the softwares that we have in place, such as GoGuardian and Bark, that monitor students' devices. But, I think your recommendation is powerful, training on how to find, applications that could be, coercing our students or deceiving. I'm open to doing a follow-up community forum or parent university where where we can have a more practical approach, right? Where we can bring smartphone. Maybe we bring your son or daughter's smartphones here and explore. You know,
Right.
of course, respecting your wishes and knowing how far you want to go with it. Because if something is discovered, I'm gonna go, here you go. That's on you. But you know, I think that's a great recommendation. You know, we shared the community safety forum was about information. Now I think we need to have the practice. So I could see us following up, you know, possibly in early 2020. You know, I want this to continue being a topic in our coffee with the principal. I also encourage parent participation in the PTO, in the music sponsors, and in the boosters, because these could be topics that you guys have as parents, and then you bring here to the coffee, you know, with the principal. You know, so I highly encourage all parents and teachers to join those organizations and to have those conversations within those groups. So when we meet together, maybe you guys bring me some examples. Maybe you guys bring me some research that'll help us make a better decision. Okay, but thank you. That is a great recommendation.
And I think that follows up if you're last year we did screenagers in October.
Yes.
And
I
all
saw
that, so that was a community, and we did the one in April with the a movie on it. So you know, there was a lot going on there with the tech and the screen learning and all that, and you know, working with Dave Mannon on even last year on doing that. You know, trying to think of those community topics. You know, we're brainstorming what are some things we could bring to parents.
Yeah.
So that's great to bring it up now. And that's something that we can look at doing, because we were brainstorming last year. What are things that parents want to know? So screenagers came up.
Right.
And,
I mean, with the technology the way it's going, you know, we try to stay on top of it. You know, but you also shared that some of our kids have dual accounts, and you know, I found 2 or 3 accounts for my older son, and I'm like, no, bring that down. You have one, and I'm your friend on all of them. You know, so but a lot of parents don't. You know, they're like, my kid is good, and you know, they are good children, but there's a lot of predators out there. So having that ability to understand a little bit more how the technology works and how these apps work, a lot of times, you know, we don't see the danger behind some of these things.
Correct.
Like even with Snapchat, you know, I had to learn how to use Snapchat because my kids use it, and I want to make sure that I know what it can do so that I'm a little more aware. But a lot of parents, either because they just don't understand technology or they don't really feel the need for it, oh, I don't understand that, so it's fine. No, we need to know what our kids are doing. So I think these things are really important for us to know.
Any questions from the audience? I do want to give an opportunity. We have other parents here that are invested, you know, and I value that highly as a principal. I don't know if our audience members have any questions. You know, yes.
I'd like to add on to the comments about being informed about technology, and I think the key piece is, you know, educating our teens in so that they understand and they know that they're being manipulated, and for them to be smarter and be more aware of what they're using and how it's being used and the potential consequences of those things. So I think right now they're young enough where, you know, everything's exciting, but they don't really understand what it really means to be using these devices and what it really means when someone's trying to communicate with them in a way that isn't appropriate.
Any final comments from the audience?
Also, the school is now using a lot of social media to get word out, and I'm still coming across parents who are saying, oh, I don't have Facebook or I don't have Instagram. You know what, we have to. That's a means of getting information out, and if you're not getting information, you have to look at these social media because it is being used in the school. And if you want to know what's going on, look to it, because there are a lot of groups who are posting. You mentioned the 3 parent groups that we have, PTO, athletic boosters, and music sponsors. They each have pages, and they have information listed on them, on their Facebook and on their Instagram. So parents need to get on these programs to find out what's going on as well.
Thank you to all the audience members, all the parents. Thank you, Julie, and thank you, Josue, for joining me on this first episode of Focal Point. Okay, here at RB, our parents matter, our students matter, and our community matters. As I always said every meeting, we love you, we care about you, and we support you.